Let me tell you the first mistake that makes people stop taking you seriously. It's not lack of confidence. It's not your voice. It's not even your body language. It's something most people think is polite. And the moment you do it, people quietly downgrade you in their mind. You've probably noticed this. You explain yourself, and somehow, respect disappears. People interrupt you. They argue with you. They question things you never had to justify before. This isn't random. There's a psychological reason for it. And once you understand it, you'll see this pattern everywhere. In your workplace, in your friendships, even in small daily interactions you thought meant nothing. The first mistake is this. You explain yourself before anyone asks. Not because you're wrong, but because you're trying to be understood. And that's the problem. When you explain yourself too early, your brain is sending one silent message. I'm not sure I deserve to stand on this decision. The other person doesn't hear those words, but they feel them. And once they feel uncertainty coming from you, they start testing boundaries. Here's how the human mind works. People don't evaluate your explanation first. They evaluate your certainty. When you over-explain, people don't think, oh, this person is thoughtful. They think, why are they defending this already? And once that question enters their mind, they start looking for flaws, even if there are none. This is unconscious. They're not trying to disrespect you. Their brain is simply doing what brains do, looking for weakness in social hierarchies. Think about this. Two people say the same thing. Person A says, I won't be attending. Person B says, I won't be attending because I've been really busy lately and I just think it's better for my mental health. And honestly, I've been feeling overwhelmed. And who gets questioned? Exactly. Person A gets a simple, okay. Person B gets, wait, what's going on? Are you sure? Can't you just come for an hour? Same decision, completely different response. Now here's what makes this fascinating. Person B actually gave more information. They were more transparent, more communicative, more honest about their reasons, and yet they got less respect. Why? Because status is communicated emotionally, not logically. High status people speak after they decide. Low status people speak while they're deciding. When you explain too much, you're narrating uncertainty. And people subconsciously treat uncertainty as weakness. It's evolutionary. In ancestral environments, following uncertain leaders got you killed. So humans developed a radar for hesitation. And that radar is still active today. Let me show you where this shows up in real life. A manager sends an email. Team, we're moving the deadline to Friday. That's it. No one questions it. Now imagine the same manager writes, Team, we're moving the deadline to Friday because I know we've had some delays and I've been thinking about our capacity and I just feel like this gives us more breathing room and I hope that makes sense for everyone. What happens? 5 people reply with concerns. 3 people suggest alternatives. Someone CCs their director, same decision. But the second version invited negotiation. The first version stated reality. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. When you over-explain, you're creating a negotiation. You're opening the door to debate. You're signaling that your decision is still being formed, and people walk through that door every time. They ask more questions. They offer alternatives. They probe for inconsistencies. Not because they care about your reasoning, but because you made your position sound conditional. You turned a statement into a discussion. And once something becomes a discussion, you've lost control of the frame. Now you might be thinking, but isn't it good to explain? Doesn't transparency build trust? Yes, but timing matters. Explaining before being asked signals insecurity. Explaining after being asked signals confidence. The content can be identical, but the framing changes everything. Compare these two scenarios. Person A declines a meeting. I can't make it. Person B declines the same meeting. I can't make it because I have this other thing. And honestly, I've been stretched thin, and I know it's important, but I just need to prioritize differently right now. The first response closes the loop. The second opens 5 new conversations. Person A's conversation ends. Person B gets problem solving. What if we moved it? Can someone cover for you? Is everything okay? Person B now has to manage other people's emotional responses. Person A has already moved on. This pattern appears everywhere. The person who explains less controls the frame. The person who explains more surrenders it. You see this with leaders. You see this with people who command natural respect. They don't refuse to explain. They just don't explain prematurely. They let their statement exist in the air. They give it weight by not rushing to fill the silence. And when clarification is needed, they provide it with the same calm certainty. Here's the exact psychology of why this works. When you state something and stop, the other person's brain does a quick calculation. Is this person uncertain? They look for vocal hesitation. They look for body language signals. They look for linguistic hedging. If they find none, their brain concludes, this person is certain, and certainty is contagious. But if you immediately start explaining, you've answered their internal question before they even asked it. You've told them, yes, I am uncertain, and now they feel uncertain too. Not about the topic, about you. Here's the correction. You don't stop explaining forever. You delay explanation, you state, you pause, you let silence do the filtering. If someone truly needs clarity, they'll ask. And when they ask, your explanation now sounds grounded, not defensive. The dynamic has shifted. They requested information. You didn't volunteer justification. That's the difference between teaching and defending. Teachers respond to questions. Defenders anticipate attacks. And people can feel which mode you're in. Let me show you how to practice this. Next time you make a decision, state it cleanly. I'm not available that day. I'm going with option B. I won't be able to help with that. Then stop. Physically stop talking. Notice the urge to add more, to smooth things over, to make sure everyone understands. Let the silence sit for 2 seconds, just 2 seconds. If someone asks for clarification, answer directly. If no one asks, continue naturally. You'll feel the difference immediately. Less questioning, less pushback, more acceptance. Not because you became more convincing, but because you stopped convincing. This principle applies beyond just saying no. It applies to everything you communicate. Your ideas at work, your boundaries in relationships, your preferences in daily life. Watch what happens when you say, I think we should go with strategy A, versus, I think we should go with strategy A because I've been considering the options and I feel like this aligns better with our goals. And I know strategy B has merit, but I just think timing-wise and resource-wise, this makes more sense. And the first version invites genuine questions. The second version invites doubt because you're already doubting yourself, and doubt spreads faster than certainty. Here's what most people miss. Respect isn't built through explanation. It's built through presence. When you explain too much, you dilute your presence. You scatter your energy into justifications. And people sense that scattering. When you state clearly and stop, your presence remains intact. You're fully behind your words. People feel the difference. They may not know why, but they respond to it. This doesn't mean you become cold, or distant, or unwilling to communicate. It means you recognize the value of your words, and you don't spend them unnecessarily. Here's a powerful reframe. Every time you over-explain, you're teaching people how much pressure they need to apply. If you fold after one question, they learn. Ask twice. If you waffle when challenged, they learn. Push harder. You're not being difficult by stating clearly. You're being respectful of your own decisions. And that respect is contagious. When you respect your own word, others start to as well. The first few times will feel uncomfortable. You'll state something, stop, and feel the silence. Your anxiety will tell you to fill it. Your people-pleasing instinct will say, explain more. They might be upset. Don't. Sit with the discomfort, because on the other side of that discomfort is a new level of respect. People will start treating your words as final, not because you're being aggressive, but because you're no longer inviting revision. Here's what changes in practical terms. Your no gets accepted faster. Your ideas get challenged less. Your time gets respected more. People stop asking you to justify basic decisions. They stop treating your statements as rough drafts. And this shift happens because of one thing. You stop negotiating with yourself out loud. It's not about being cold. It's about being complete. Say it. Stop. Let it land. No trailing explanations. No nervous add-ons. Finished. New rule. State it clearly. Stop talking. Answer only if asked. Silence will feel uncomfortable. Let it. That silence is respect forming. Respect isn't demanded, it's assumed. The less you explain, the less people think you owe them proof. Your decisions stop sounding like requests. They start sounding final. And people respond to finality. That's the shift. Not confidence, not tone, just knowing when to stop talking.